Hello, my name's Paul Borman. I'm an executive coach to some of the most senior people in the world and a business psychologist. In this online program, I'll share with you some of the common issues that my clients bring to me and the advice that I give them to help overcome these issues. There'll be written exercises to complete, and most importantly, actions to take back in your workplace. A lot of the time, my clients come to me believing that they need to learn a new set of skills in order to be more influential. But they can often underestimate how much skill they already have. They already know how to ask questions, they know how to listen, they know how to show empathy. I'm lucky enough to spend my whole life dealing with high-functioning and successful adults who have a vast range of social skills that allow them to be parents, friends, pillars of society. But for some reason, these skills are not always evident in the workplace. I believe that in most cases, the reason for this is that they simply haven't set out to use these skills in the first place. Their minds and focus are on achieving something else. Whenever they go to a meeting with someone at work, they tend to have front of mind something they wish to achieve, a decision that needs to be made, a budget allocated, some facts gathered or given. These desired achievements can be labelled task objectives. And for many people, they're actually the only thing that they think about during the meeting. However, alongside these task objectives, it is also possible for you to have a parallel set of process objectives. So what I mean by process objective is the way in which you want the person to feel about the manner in which you achieved the task objective. You might go into a meeting trying to make an important decision, and you might not care how much everybody is on side with that decision. You just want the decision met. But on the other hand, you might really care. You might say, I want everybody to feel that they actively contributed to that decision and are happy with the decision and will own that decision later. And just taking that moment to think, how do I want the person to feel about the way in which they achieved our task, naturally causes you to behave differently than if you hadn't even bothered to set that process objective. So let's think some more about this difference between task objectives and process objectives. Task objectives are generally relatively simple and tend to be one of the two following things. Either they're making a decision or they're transferring information. Either you're wanting to give information to other people or you're trying to get information from other people, maybe to monitor the effectiveness of a project. Let's take the first one though, giving information. You can imagine that you might have a task objective to share your strategy and plan with a wider group of people. And if that's the only objective you have, then you'll just pass on the information. You could also though have a process objective alongside that. But the type of process objective could radically affect your behaviour and the impact that it has on other people. So one process objective might be, I want everybody to really understand my new strategy. That's the most important thing in the process, that comprehension happens. If that's your process objective, you'll probably allow room for some kind of Q&A and allow people to just understand fully what you mean by everything in your plan, which is fine. How about another process objective though? Maybe you want people to feel real personal ownership of that plan, in which case you might decide that you have a different process objective. This process objective is that you want people to feel they have contributed to the plan, that they've had a chance to test the plan and reassure themselves that it's the right plan, that they have a chance to disagree with it, debate it, and come to some sensible conclusions. If you had that as your process objective, imagine how different you would behave in the meeting. You'd be much less tell, you'd be much more ask, but you'd also encourage debate. And if you followed that process objective, I imagine that the impact that would have on the people afterwards would be great. One group of people would go out understanding the plan, the second group of people would go out owning the plan. Most people I work with already have the skills to meet both their task and process objectives, but because they've neglected to set a process objective, how people end up feeling at the end of the meeting can be far from ideal, and so too may be their commitment to the future of the plan. Having understood all of this, now it's your chance to plan for one of your own meetings. On your worksheet, try and identify an important meeting that you have coming up. Ideally, one which you have a great deal of influence over, and then write yourself a process objective. Have the meeting and then note down how it went so that you can monitor progress over the coming days.